Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Panachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Harigo, 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 Nitai Gaura Harigo, Harigo, Nitai Gaura, Nitai Gaura Harigo. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Astuttara Sata Sissimad Divine Grace ISKCON founder Acharya Jagadguru Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Astuttara Sata Sissimad Divine Grace Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki Anantigori Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridasa Sakura ki Friends, go to Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Siva Sari Gaura Bhakti Vrinda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopina Shama Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki Vrindavan Dham ki Mathura Dham ki Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki Jagannath Puri Dham ki Jamuna Mai ki Ganges Mai ki Tulasi Devi ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda ki, Nitai Gauda Premanande. All glories is Sambhu devotees. All glories is Sambhu devotees. All glories is Sambhu devotees. All glory to Shishi Guru Shri Gauranga. Namam Vishnu Padya Krishna Prithaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Shanti. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Shitanmani Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Jina. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna. We are very greatly fortunate to have the divine association of His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj. His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj is from West Africa. He is the first sannyas disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. He is very well known for his years of dedicated services to our society. And he has been teaching the principles of devotion service the way he received from His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj was born on 8th of June 1957 and he studied electrical engineering. Being attracted by the devotees, he moved into the temple in 1982. And from a very young age, he has been very spiritually minded and he studied the Bible very intensely with the sole aim of understanding God and His entire creation. And these concepts of reincarnation, karma, etc. were very central issues in his queries. So Maharaj received first initiation in 1985 and Brahman initiation in 1986 by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. After 20 years of practicing and serving the movement in different capacities, he was initiated as a sannyasi on 25th of March 2005 at Sridham Mayapur by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on behalf of his Gurudev, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, who has departed from this world just 3 months back at that time. On 6th of February 2011, he took the Guru Oath before His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada at the Hare Krishna Temple at Lagos. And Maharaj is the first African sannyasi and guru in our International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He has also served as a GBC of West Africa for about 5 years. Currently, Maharaj teaches courses like Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav regularly in the Vrindavan Institute of Higher Education as well as the Mayapur Institute, along with facilitating various seminars on practical aspects of the Krishna conscious philosophy, like community building, self-sufficiency, etc. He is also on the MIHE panel of facilitators to facilitate ISKCON's disciple course, IDC. And after sannyas, he has been preaching extensively in different countries outside West Africa, just like USA, Mauritius, India, Brazil. And he has also opened a new ISKCON frontier in an island country called Seychelles. Maharaj is also developing a very vibrant Krishna conscious farm community in Ghana, Africa, inspiring and empowering the devotees to be self-sufficient. That's the project he is currently working on. And one of the prime qualities of Maharaj is his intensity in Krishna consciousness. Being trained by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, he has acquired that quality of practicing Krishna consciousness with great purity and intensity. So whether it is chanting or it is deity worship or study of the scripture or visiting the holy places or giving classes, we can see that parampara of intensity, what we could see in His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj being passed on as a legacy to Maharaj. And in an association we get very enlivened and uplifted, we get great determination to rise one step above in our regular, gradual, slow-going practice of Krishna consciousness. So his classes are very, very inspiring devotees to take deeper commitment to practice Krishna consciousness, to preach Krishna consciousness, and to become extremely sincere and serious in the practice of Krishna consciousness, leaving all the, the material distractions aside. So it's a great fortune that we have the association of Maharaj. It's a very, very short association. Yesterday afternoon, Maharaj arrived. Then there was a program at Magarpatta. And it's the only class we are having, and after that Maharaj is proceeding to Nigri and then to Mumbai, then to Nasik, then back to Mumbai, and then, back to Africa. So let us thank Maharaj, let us express our gratitude for his association here, and let us welcome him to Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Mandir by loudly chanting once the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Srila Prabhupada ki Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Naruttamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayesha Badresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloki Bhakti Bhavati Nashtigi Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshulmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri ISKCON Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisai Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisavana Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasunubhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Granted Srimad Bhagavatam ki Harinam Prabhu ki His Holiness Japataka Swami Maharaj ki Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 2. Jamila delivered by the Vishnu Dutas, Text 49. Mriyamano Harinama Grinan Putropacharitam Ajamilopya Garidhama Kimuta Sadayagrinan Mriyamano Harinama Grinan Putropacharitam Jamilopya Gadidama Kimuta Sradayagrinan Mriyamano Harinama Grinan Putropacharitam Jamilopya Gadama Kimuta Sradayagrinan Briyamano Harinama Grinan Putropacharitam Damilo Pyaghardama Kimuta Sadayagrinan. Matajis. Mriyamana at the time of death. Hare Nama, the holy name of Hari. Grinan, chanting. Putra Upacharitam, indicating his son. Ajamila, Ajamila, happy, even. Agat, went. Dharma, to the spiritual world. Kimota, what to speak of. Sadaya, with faith and love. Grinan, chanting. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. While suffering at the time of death, Ajamila chanted the holy name of the Lord. And although the chanting was directed towards his son, he nevertheless returned home back to Godhead. Therefore, if one faithfully and inoffensively chant the holy name of the Lord, where is a doubt that he will return to Godhead? Purport. At the time of death, one is certainly bewildered because his bodily functions are in disorder. At that time, even one who throughout his life has practiced chanting the holy name of the Lord may not be able to chant the Hare Krishna mantra very distinctly. Nevertheless, such a person receives all the benefit of chanting the holy name. While the body is fit, therefore, why should we not chant the holy name of the Lord loudly and distinctly? If one does so, it is quite possible that even at the time of death, he will be properly able to chant the holy name of the Lord with love and faith. In conclusion, one who chants the holy name of the Lord constantly is guaranteed to return home back to Godhead without doubt. And Prabhupada quoted Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura to support this verse. Before we continue, today is the divine appearance of His Holiness, Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. So Prabhupada said here, while the body is fit, therefore, why should we not chant the holy name of the Lord loudly and distinctly? This is how His Holiness Jayapataka Swami chant. He chant very loud. And his godbrothers complained to Prabhupada, he's disturbing our chanting. Because we're supposed to hear what we are chanting. But his chanting cannot allow us to hear. So what did Prabhupada do? He stopped him from chanting? No. He asked him to go back. So go behind everybody. So keep chanting loud. The secret of chanting loud is that you are shouting at your mind. If you shout on somebody, he will give you attention. So we're not shouting on our mind, the mind goes away. We call it inattentive chanting because the mind is not chanting. So if we want the mind to chant, shout at the mind. Rascal, Hare Krishna. The mind will stay with us. His Holiness Japataka Swami is chant like this. Very loud and very distinct. That the mind is forced to hear the sound. When we chant Hare Krishna, that is not the sound that purifies. What purifies is the amount of that sound you heard. That what gives the purification. That is why we have to chant and hear. Chanting loudly, Namacharya Haridas Thikura said it is 1,000 times better than chanting silently. He quoted Padma Purana and he quoted the 10th canto Bhagavatam, the chapter dealing with Varuna Saramata arresting Nanda Maharaj. So chanting loud is approved in our scripture. And performed by our acharyas. And His Holiness Japataka Maharaj does that. Because he knows the importance of chanting loudly. If you want to chant loudly, you are considered to be a magnanimous person, not a selfish person. A selfish person chants silently because that is for oneself. A magnanimous person chants loud. That chanting includes those who cannot chant, like the plant, the insect, the beast, except Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can induce them to chant. Other people cannot do that. So the best way for us to do that is by chanting loudly. They will get benefit. They will chant. And we are chanting. That brings immeasurable pleasure to Krishna because we are assisting him in his duty of reclaiming conditioned souls. One becomes the favorite of Krishna by chanting loudly. So when you look at the life of His Holiness Japataka Swami, you can see the amount of determination he has. You can see the strength of his mind. Because he chants loudly, his mind is very strong. He should have left the body a long time back. He is living till today because of the merit of his chanting loudly the holy name of Krishna. That pleases Lord Krishna. He has a great determination, strong determination. His mind is very strong. Not strong like demon. This man is the strongness due to determination. It's determination for Krishna. One astrologer, when devotee consulted him, he was going to go heart transplant, kidney transplant, two things at the same time. These are very, very dangerous operations. So it was a debate. What did they use if he spends so much money and it doesn't work? So we wasted money, and also he did not survive, he didn't make it. So what to do? They have to consult an astrologer. This astrologer, when you look at it, it's only Swami. I want to see this man. I want to see him. But he will say, why do you want to see him? You don't know him. Why do you want to see him? Not everybody comes to consult you that they want to see. I want to see this person because his determination has extended his life. You want to stay. What is he staying for? To preach Krishna consciousness to the world. The devotee wants to stay to preach Krishna consciousness. And that is how you know a devotee. The devotees are ready to make sacrifice at the expense of their own pleasure or satisfaction. They are ready to sacrifice that. One becomes very dear to Krishna based on the quality of sacrifice you are making on behalf of Krishna. The karmis are making a lot of endeavor and sacrifices for sanctification so they can go to hell. Yes, with assurance. Yamara will not spare them from going to hell. Devotees also are making a lot of sacrifices just to please Lord Krishna. So devotees are magnanimous, are wonderful. We sing this quality with His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj to preach Krishna consciousness, to expand the mercy of Lord Krishna is the prime desire of the pure devotees. It's the prime desire to expand the Krishna, as Prabhupada said, to find ways and means to expand the Krishna, to make sure that many people have access to Krishna. He's doing it in many ways. And sometimes it will look like he's not following the rules of our system. But it is a risk he's taking to expand the Krishna consciousness. Giving initiation to people who doesn't have the material knowledge to do IDC course. According to ISKCON standard, to take initiation, you must do the course. How will illiterate old man do the course? How? Even in their own language, how would they do it? They're old. There's no chance that, okay, you are going to go to school for anything. The brain is already falling, the mind is already falling, everything is falling apart, even the body is falling apart. How will they do IDC course? And if you are going to follow the standard, how will they get initiation? How will they get connected with the parampara? His Holiness Jayapataka Swami is taking that risk to give chance to many people to have connection with our parampara. It's risky, but he's doing it. And only by taking risk for Krishna's pleasure that will get Krishna's attention very quickly. It is very, very difficult for a person, what so-called normal body, so-called normal body, because I have not seen anybody, including doctor's body, that is healthy. I have not seen any healthy body, material body. Material body cannot be healthy. It's just a patchwork, and also it's our imagination. How healthy is our body right from the beginning? A 3-month-old baby is wearing specs, eyeglass. How healthy is the body? And they're going to wear it till death. Not sometimes. As a healthy body, right from childhood, they're going to wear glass. Not at old age, right from the beginning. Is that a healthy body? So, with that so-called body, so-called healthy body, it is very difficult to travel. If you want to travel from India to Brazil, you spend 3 days. And if you don't have money to take business class, using economic class, you're going to sit in one box for 3 days, squeeze into. When you get down there, how will you feel? Strong? Want to go and sleep with all the inconveniences. But His Holiness Japaraka Swami is traveling with his sick body. This distance. What is he looking for? What is he looking for? Money? Prestige? What is it? Just to expand Krishna consciousness. To help people be interested, become encouraged in Krishna consciousness. In the past, we have had so many great devotees who function 100% with the bad health, with the disease, and all kinds of inconveniences in the body. In the past, we saw, but at the present, His Holiness Jayaprakash Maharaj is making it present, repeating the history. That is how a devotee should be. Because our system is parampara, therefore, we have to live our life as a devotee to repeat the history. That is a success we are expecting. If you don't live our life to repeat the history, we are a failure. We have failed our chariots. The history has to be repeated. That person is not appointed in the scripture that you should be the only one to repeat. It's the responsibility of every single devotee in the Krishna movement to repeat the history with our own life. That is success. Not the facilities we have in our temple. Not how many rounds we are chanting. Because I have seen many people who are chanting 64 rounds every day, but the level of the anger is more than those who are not chanting 64 rounds. That means they are not chanting. The alphabet is being vibrated, but the holy name is not there. The holy name is different. The alphabet is different. So we have to have the attitude, the positive attitude to bring out the holy name from the alphabet. That is our responsibility. We saw here, Ajamila chanted the holy name of the Lord. Although the chanting was directed towards his son, not Krishna, What he chanted was not Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It was his son he called, who bears the same name, which is the causeless mystery of Krishna. And Krishna influenced him to name his son Narayan. And not only that, Krishna made him to become attached to this boy. To the whole day he is chanting Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. By chanting that, this is Namabhas, not Sudhanam. The Namabhas he chanted. It is said here, he returned home back to Godhead. He went to Godhead by chanting Namabhas. So, the advice given to us is, what about those who are actually, if Namabhas can take one back to Godhead, what about those who chant the pure name or Prem Nam? What is the doubt that those who are chanting the Prem Nam will go back home, back to Godhead? Of course, when it is said here that the Jamila went to Godhead with Namabhas, you should try to understand what it means by Namabhas. He went. Nobody can go back to Godhead with Namabhas. Nobody can go. Prem Nam or Sudhanam takes one back to Godhead, not Namabhas. Namabhas is still within the material world. It had not transcended. So what does it mean? Ajamila, he went back to Godhead, chanting Namabhas. Ajamila chanted, this was the hook, the anchor that dragged him, got him connected with Krishna. So Prabhupada said the second chance. The Namabhas made him to meet with the Vishnu Dutas. And by the mercy of the Vishnu Dutas, Ajamila was given chance to go to Badrika Ashram. It is there he chanted the pure name in association of pure devotees. The pure name is given. The pure name is not obtained by our strength. The pure name is given to us by those who have pure name. And they will give, when we exhibit the quality that will attract this mercy. The quality will attract the mercy. That one will be able to chant the pure name. They chant the pure name. One who chant and cry, that is the pure name. The pure name will make you to cry from the heart, not from the pain of suffering due to the punishment from material energy. That is not the cry. The cry that comes from the heart comes from when the heart is melted in appreciation of love of Krishna. That is pure name. That pure name is given by one who has a pure name to those who have the fortune to attract that. Who are those who have that fortune? Those who does not criticize and blaspheme devotees. Those who blaspheme devotees will not get it. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told his devotees, all of you listen, anyone who think ill of Murari Gupta will go to hell. Even if you take birth in Ganges for millions of bed, or your chanting 64 and everything for millions of bed, you don't go back to Godhead. If you think ill of Murari Gupta, he specifically mentioned, this the Supreme Lord is speaking. Even if you are chanting 64 on the holy name, you will not be delivered. How are we going to stop blaspheming, criticizing devotees? We will not have the strength to stop blaspheming devotee only when we understand, we can appreciate that all living entities are Krishna's parts and parcels. If we don't understand this, we cannot maintain the unity and diversity we are looking for, or be able to chant the holy name that will attract the mercy for the pure holy name of Krishna. So His Holiness Prakash Maharaj is taking a lot of risk, traveling long distance. He preaches in South America. That's why I mentioned it, because I'm preaching this. I know the distance, what it takes to go there. And he cannot sleep without preaching. His Holiness Bhataka Maharaj cannot sleep if he has not given lecture. Any day he didn't give lecture, he's not qualified to sleep until he has preached. Why? This is a service for living entities. To preach Krishna consciousness. It's a service. It is not an exercise or like a drama. We make a rehearsal and present a drama. Preaching is different. It's a big science. One is distributing Krishna to the audience. That is preaching. That we are planting Krishna in the heart of those who listen. That is preaching. And one who is so merciful that he is caring, is thinking, I'm not qualified to sleep, I'm not qualified to drink, I'm not qualified to eat if I have not preached. That's a devotee. So one day he asks this devotee, look around the world, which country is not sleeping by this time? Call the devotee, they want to give lecture before I sleep. So devotee have to check. This country, they are not sleeping yet, it's the daytime. Call devotee, I want to give class. Say, call devotee, Maharaj want to speak. Maharaj want to speak. Everybody gathered. He gave lecture before he has to go to bed. It's a devotee interested in helping other devotees in their Krishna consciousness. This is love. We talk about love of Godhead. Don't think we are going to go and get love of Godhead at the gate of Vaikuntha. It is from here. It is from here. How we are eager to make Krishna valuable for those around us. It's very, very important. Very, very important. It's the responsibility for all wonderful souls who are very, very dear to Lord Krishna. Those are dear to Lord Krishna. I hear devotees who are making a lot of sacrifice. How they are taking care of devotees. I have traveled with him for many years. 19 years I've been traveling with him and preaching in his preaching program. I've been traveling with him for 19 years. And I have seen how he makes himself available for the devotees. He makes himself available. The devotee can have his association. Wherever he goes, he have time for the devotees. After the lecture, I want to sit with him there to hear a lecture. He will tell me, go and sit there. He will sit here. So, why you send me away? I want to sit and hear. Go and sit there. So I went on Saturday. So the devotee also will come in there. So I was preaching there. That's what he was doing. He's sitting here, he's preaching, devotees coming, he's giving them association. Sit there, devotees also will come and ask you a question, so you can talk Krishna consciousness with them. In the beginning, I was when are we going to close? I was looking, the time has gone, late in the night. We're waiting here. He's waiting to give association to devotees. After the lecture, all the devotees on that side They come to meet him. So he will be preaching, answering their questions. Because there are many disciples. And he maintained the principle of staying in one place for only 4 days. He didn't stay any place more than 4 days. Except his headquarters in Mayapur. And this day, what is he doing? He is distributing book every day. He's a Sankirtan devotee. At this stage, with his sickness, he is distributing books every day. Every day. And he got a degree, Bhakti, by our student. This year also. He has the biggest certificate. Yes, because he's very fat. So the certificate is also very fat, big like this. Fit his size. Fit to his size. He didn't just in a university we have, also in our system we have perfection by mercy. We have a perfection by mercy. Perfection by mercy, it is once in a million lifetimes. So no intelligent person wait for that kind of mercy to attain perfection. The best thing for everyone to do is a perfection by practice. That is the easier, the best one. So every intelligent person goes for that. Jabbatakabali didn't get his certificate by honorary degree. Honorary degree. It's not the honorary degree. He actually sat for exam and passed the test before he was given the certificate. And he passed it. He passed the test. So he did. What is he doing? We have to teach by example. A good devotee will teach by example, not just by words. Our words are empty if you don't have character. Empty words. It doesn't affect any person. The Prabhupada gave lecture for only 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But you see, here's the effect of 20-minute lecture. So many devotees. We are giving seminar for 2 hours. What is the effect of it? Because our words are empty. No character. Character is missing, which is the main picture. The main picture is character, not our words, not the philosophy. So if you don't have character, we're not preachers. We're simply orators. Orators. That is the fact. Orators. Empty words without potency. Sages and Maharaj told Sutta Goswami, we are selecting you to speak to us because you have character. Your qualification to preach to you is that you have character. You are character, you are principle-minded person. So you have behavior that we would like to emulate. So you should speak to us. We are not interested in philosophy. Don't give us the philosophy you have had from here. So many spiritual masters. We don't want that because we don't have qualifications for that. Just give us the essence, the character. This is the character of Sutta Goswami. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. This is Sutta Goswami character that he gave to us at the request of the sages and Namisha. So Jayaprakash, he went through the exams and passed the test. They said something. You have to speak. The examiners are there. So he was given the certificate. So the holy name of Krishna cannot be compared to anything. It doesn't have any comparison to the Vedic rituals, Vedic rules and regulations. It cannot be compared. Comparison is an offense. Because you cannot compare something that doesn't have equality. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura also gave more explanation to this. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura's commentary to text 9 and 10 of this chapter form a dialogue concerning how one can become free from all sinful reactions simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Someone may say, it may be accepted that by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one becomes freed from all the reactions of sinful life. However, if one commits a sinful act in full consciousness, not only once, but many, many times, he is unable to free himself from the reactions of such sins, even after atoning for them for 12 years or more. How is it possible, then, that simply by once chanting the holy name of the Lord, one immediately becomes free from the reactions of such sins? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura replies by quoting verse 9 and 10 of this chapter. The chanting of the holy name of Lord Vishnu is the best process of atonement for a thief of gold or other valuables, for a drunkard, for one who betrays a friend or relative, for one who kills a brahmana, or for one who indulges in sex with the wife of his guru or another superior. It is also the best method of atonement for one who murders women, the king or his father, for one who slaughters cows, and for all other sinful men. Simply by chanting the holy name of Lord Vishnu, such sinful persons may attract the attention of the Supreme Lord, who therefore considers, because this man has chanted my holy name, my duty is to give him protection. This is consideration of Krishna. And this is what we have seen with Jamila. This person has chanted my name. It is my responsibility to give him all protection. And Krishna is thinking like this towards us. So where is a doubt that those who are sincerely chanting without offense will not get Krishna's mercy, when those who are not so pleased are getting Krishna's attention? Where's the doubt? There's no doubt that the Krishna, the holy name, can deliver us at all times. At all times. There is no jagya one perform with mistake and become successful. There is no charity one will give with improper action, improper time, improper person, improper place, that one will get the better result. There is no sacrifice one can perform. There is no austerity one can perform improperly and attain perfection. Only the holy name one can do it improperly and become successful. Because the name is very, very powerful, more merciful and kind than Krishna himself. That is the divine nature of the holy name of Krishna. How many, all the devotees sitting here go to the altar? Huh? All the devotees here can go to the altar? All devotees can go? Even though you are chanting Hare Krishna? Cannot go to the altar? Huh? No. But everyone can chant Hare Krishna. So which one is superior? The deity or the holy name? Which one? Harinam Prabhu Ki? Thank you. One may atone for sinful life and vanquish all sinful reactions by chanting the holy name. Although this is not called atonement. Ordinary atonement may temporarily protect a sinful person, but it does not completely cleanse his heart of the deep-rooted desire to commit sinful acts. Therefore, atonement is not as powerful as the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. In the Shastras, it is said that if a person only once chants the holy name and completely surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Lord immediately considers him his word and is always inclined to give him protection. This is confirmed by Sridhara Swami. Thus, when Ajamila was in great danger of being carried off by the other carriers of Yamaraj, the Lord immediately sent his personal other carriers to protect him. And because Ajamila was freed from all sinful reactions, the Vishnu Dutta spoke on his behalf. Ajamila had named his son Narayan, and because he loved the boy very much, he would call him again and again, Narayan, come and sit on my lap. Narayan, have you eaten? Narayan, want to sleep? Narayan, want to drink? Narayan, how are you feeling? Narayan, let's go and play. So he's calling Narayan all the time. So what is happening? The Vishnu Dutta said, Ajamila is like a snake without the fangs. That is the potency of the holy name. The name removes the poison from the snake. Therefore, Ajamila, he was living with the prostitute, but that was external. He living with the prostitute was external. The internal thing was that he has been cleansed of all his sinful activities, not for one bed, for million beds. He was already freed. This is the glory of the holy name. Although he was calling for his son, the name itself was powerful because the name Narayan is not different from the Supreme Lord Narayana. When Ajamila named his son Narayan, all the reactions of his sinful life were neutralized. And as he continued calling his son and thus chanting the holy name of Lord Narayan thousands of times, he was actually unconsciously advancing in Krishna consciousness. One may argue, since he was constantly chanting the name of Narayan, how was it possible for him to be associating with the prostitute and thinking of wine? By his sinful actions, he was bringing suffering upon himself again and again. And therefore, one may say that his ultimate chanting of Narayan was the cause of his being freed. However, his chanting would then have been a nama aparat. Nam no balal jasahi papa buddhi. One who continues to act sinfully and tries to neutralize his sins by chanting the holy name of the Lord is Namaparadi, or offender to the holy name. In response, it may be said that Ajamila's chanting was inoffensive because he did not chant the name of Narayan with the purpose of contracting his sins. That is the difference. He did not know that he was addicted to sinful actions, nor did he know that his chanting of the name Narayan was neutralizing them. Thus, he did not commit a namaparad. And his repeated chanting of the holy name of Narayan, what calling his son may be called pure chanting. Because of this pure chanting, Ajamila unconsciously accumulated the result of Bhakti. Indeed, even his first utterance of the holy name was sufficient to nullify all the sinful reactions of his life. To cite a logical example, a fig tree does not immediately yield fruit, but in time, the fruit are valuable. Similarly, Ajamila's devotional service grew little by little, and therefore, although he committed a very sinful act, the reactions did not affect him. In the Shastras, it is said that if one chants the holy name of the Lord even once, the reactions of past, present, or future sinful life do not affect him. To give another example, if one attracts the poison, the poison fangs of a serpent. This saves the serpent's future victims from poisonous effects, even if the serpent bites repeatedly. Similarly, if a devotee chants the holy name even once inoffensively, this protects him eternally. He need only wait for the result of the chanting to mature in due course of time. Harinam Prabhu ki, His Holiness Japataka Swami Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories assembled devotees.
Anybody have any question? Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, in Vaishnava Bhajan we hear this Hari Sthane Aparade Tare Harina Tuma Sthane Aparade Bhi Paritrana. Means for pure devotees if you do some offense then even Harinam is also not going to take us. And same one thing we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita also. Sachi Mata did offense in mind for Advaita Acharya, and then also she did not get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So how to understand? Because we hear a lot of time in Kali Yuga doing offense in mind is not acceptable, and a lot of time we judge pure devotees based on how they speak, what is their color, all these things in mind, and so how to come out of this tendency?
In Kali Yuga, the offenses which we commit in the mind, it does not manifest immediately. It will manifest in due course of time. So let us hear our scriptures properly. In Satya Yuga, immediately it will come out. In Kali Yuga, it will take some time, but eventually it will come. I give an example so you can understand. If you are keeping something against somebody in the mind for some time, one day it will come out vocally. Is it not? One day you will say it out. You are always like this. I know you are going to do it, and you have done it. Because it has been there in the mind for a long time. So it will not manifest immediately, but it will manifest one day. Therefore, we should be careful with what we are thinking. We should be careful with what we are meditating. Because what we are meditating, it will become our words, our action, become our life. It will end in that way. So we should be careful with what we are thinking. It is our future. Our future is what we are constantly thinking of now. So if you think of a spiritual master, a devotee, a pure devotee, if you think of a pure devotee, a devotee, pure, not pure, but a devotee, if you think ill of the devotee, the consequences is heavy, very heavy. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was trying to teach us that. I will not give him. I will not give her. For her, I will not give. I will not give. Why? She's an offender. How can the mother of the universe be offended? She is using her mother to teach us how to be careful. And we mentioned that We cannot chant the pure name until we are free from offenses. We cannot. We can think of ourselves as whatever we think. That is our own thinking. If we're not free from offenses, you're not going to chant the pure name. And if you don't chant the pure name, you're not going back to Godhead. We will continue to rotate here in this material world. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said the easiest way, the easiest and the surest way for a devotee, for anyone to go to hell, is to blaspheme devotees. To blaspheme devotees. Sure, confirmed, destined to go to hell. Cannot be changed until we change it ourselves by giving up. Rupa Goswami described a devotee, pure devotee, we should worship as one who has no inclination to criticize others. That's a pure devotee. He doesn't. So you criticize that person, you're in danger. It doesn't matter who the person is. Provided it's a devotee, it's very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So be careful. So how do we become free? We already mentioned. We can be free only when we recognize that everyone belongs to Krishna. When we fully accept this, only then we'll be careful not to offend somebody. We have respect. We have respect for people only when we understand that it's a spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. When we have the respect, we will never make offense. We will not abuse anyone or any person. If I see you as a spirit soul, I cannot abuse you. If I see you as nothing, then I can easily abuse you. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said we should try not to be great devotees. We should try to be good devotees. We should try to be good devotees. A good devotee is one who is walking in himself or herself. One who is looking into himself or herself. Is checking to see if we are living life according to what our charities are teaching, what the scriptures say. That's a good devotee. A great devotee is one who is full of pride. I am that. I am that. What is that? What is that? Tatvamasi. What does it mean? If one personally, what is that? Tatvamasi. I am that. What are you? What is that? You are. They don't know. So we should not be that. Because that is Krishna, not we. Right? Makes sense? Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful talk. You spoke about, alphabet is different and holy name is different. Very touching point actually. I heard this first time. So, and also you will also glorify Bhakti, example of Maharaj for his preaching spirit. So, when it comes to like Rasta, so with challenges now, there is one to maintain family, and along with that, how to maintain that spirit of preaching. You said Prabhupada Maharaj, he never go to sleep before he gives one lecture. So for Grastas, how to understand, how to maintain that spirit of preaching, and try to contribute in some ways, if not direct preaching, then indirect preaching or something. How to inspire others in Krishna consciousness.
The first duty of a householder, the first duty, most prominent duty of a householder, how we receive guests in the house. How we receive guests, how do we treat the guests? So by treating people nicely, is preaching. If we treat people nicely, that is preaching. And also, preaching has many ways, many angles. We have devotees who goes directly to the field, practically there in the field. The householder, you are in an office. So, how to maintain that spirit? We hear from acharyas. So, as a householder, I'm not going to go to the street like this because I'm going to be in office. So, how will I preach? These days is not difficult, and especially in India, it's not difficult. If you make your house a preaching center, you can preach, and people will come and hear Krishna Katha from you. It's preaching. See, if you dedicate 1 hour a week to preaching Krishna consciousness, that is wonderful. We are going to the office, we have some books put in our table. People come to office to say, well, you should give the person a book. Or you just display the books on your table. Someone is sitting there with you. By the time he finishes, he's already glassing there. When he wants to say, can I take one? Just preaching. Said he has taken one book. And people will come here before you know you have finished 10 books already. You can easily preach here. These are many ways you can preach. We support devotees who are also going directly to the field by sponsoring many books. We can provide a car for Sarinam, for Sankirtan. There are many ways to preach. Many ways. It's not only one way. There are many ways to preach Krishna consciousness. One way to Krishna consciousness, but many ways to attract people to Krishna. Makes sense? So we can do that. Yes, my guru is not sleeping until he preach. So what is the duty of a disciple? I should follow his footsteps. So I should try to preach. I should not. At the time I was ordered, whomever we meet, wherever we go, what to do? Huh? Tell them, yeah, Krishna is the supreme God. He is your father. He is your worshipful deity. This is your religion. That's all. Only 3 sentences we just make. And with sincerity in the heart, the person will be attracted to take the book. So we can do that. The movement will grow nicely if all of us are taking interest like this. Yes, bro.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I would like to thank you for giving us the wonderful example of His Holiness Jayapatak Swami Maharaj, especially for his determination as you started off. So, and today is the very auspicious tithi of his appearance day. Maharaj, if I have your permission, could I share one personal experience that I witnessed in his life?
There are many devotees you want to hear, so you can tell.
It's very short. I'll just share it with everybody. It will be very beneficial for all the devotees also. So for some of you all who may not be knowing that just like Mayapur is the house of Jayapatak Maharaj here in India, in US, Atlanta happens to be his house. He spends a lot of time over there. And in Atlanta, he has started this Panihati festival, and he's been doing it forever, for 30 plus years. So I had the very good fortune of participating and doing some seva for him over there. He always keeps coming every year and organizing that festival. So the year he got his attack here in India, it happened in October, November. I should not say fortunate, but I was here in India, and somehow I could go and get his darshan in the hospital, in the ICU. And he was as usual very peaceful and all, and I wasn't even very sure whether I would again get to see him also, whether he would come back to US. So when I went back to Atlanta, I really was sure that he won't be coming back that year for the festival in May or June. And guess what? He was just fit enough. He was on the wheelchair, he could hardly move around and all also. Yet, in the month of June, he traveled from India and came to the US, to Atlanta, specially for that Panihati festival. He was still on the wheelchair, he had tubes, and he could hardly talk. And not only did he come for the festival, he was still managing the whole festival. I personally saw him in the kitchen till late night. Early morning he came back. He was in the altar making the offerings, offering arti. And the height of the whole thing was that at the end of the festival, every year he does initiations. He initiated devotees also. So there is so much I can share of His Holiness Jayapatak Swami Maharaj, how he is a personification of what Maharaj was talking in his class. And I got a glimpse of what Srila Prabhupada actually meant when he said that Jayapatak is coming from Gaur Leela. He's a representative of Mahaprabhu's Leela. So I thought I'll just share with all of you all today, being his Vyas Puja, that how he's really empowered and representing Srila Prabhupada so wonderfully. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you very much. Yes, Atlanta is. I attended the festival, Panihati Festival, 2019. Is outside India. That is the biggest Panihati Festival outside India. Atlanta, that is the biggest. Can you imagine? Imagine the festival. They stack the pot of prasadam on top of each other. And they make a mountain of it like this. And at the end of the festival, everybody have a big pot. Nobody can finish. But even if you are a voracious eater, except you are Bhimsena, you cannot. It is really rich. I have not seen. I've not seen. It's rich. So many varieties of fruit and so many things mixed together inside one big pot. I will dump it on our friends. This is for you. See, Holy Jayapatak established that festival there. That is his heart. And he goes every year. So I participated once. It's big, really very big. Bigger, the biggest. Anywhere except in India. So thank you for the contribution. His Holiness Jayapatak Swami Maharaj ki Nitai Gaur Premanande, or glorious assembly devotees.
His Holiness Bhakti Damodara Swami Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Very grateful to Maharaj for his wonderful presentation on the holy name and also reminding all of us of the glories of His Holiness Jayapatak Swami Maharaj. Maharaj has written a book. This book is entitled as The Spiritual Connection, Understanding the Dynamics of Guru and Disciple Relationship. We know every day we sing Yasya Prasadat Bhagavad Prasado, Yasya Prasadat Nagati Kutopi. So the most important relationship in any ISKCON devotee life is the relationship with his spiritual master. And oftentimes very less is understood about the dynamics in that relationship. So this book, which is available in Hindi and English, both the languages, just outside the temple hall, will be a very enlightening book, which will take us closer to the association of our spiritual master and will help us to feel more inspired and dedicated to his service and serving Srila Prabhupada and the mission through pleasing him. So please do have a copy if you don't have, and request Maharaj to sign for those who will take the book. So while you're going for further for prasadam, please take a copy of the book and get it signed if you so desire. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.